Now, 50 years ago, two of this country's main railway stations, Euston and St Pancras, operated what was known as a colour bar, meaning black people were banned from working there. A Kent man, Xavier, risked his job and the anger of his fellow workers when he went public and demanded the rules be changed. Originally from the Caribbean island of Dominica, Asquith was one of thousands of people who migrated from the Caribbean to the United Kingdom after World War II. After a long campaign by Asquith, on this day in 1966, British Rail was forced to scrap the colour bar at Euston Station. If you head to the concourse today, you'll find a plaque that honours Asquith's legacy unveiled by his family. Ian Palmer has tonight's special report.
Asquith Xavier, the man who challenged the colour bar and won. It's a remarkable story. His granddaughter only found out herself when she read a magazine article in 2006.
I was brought to tears and really moved with emotion of his story, of how hard he had worked to make sure that there was equality among black people in the workplace, in housing and financial services being made available. And that's why they were able to buy, my grandparents were both able to buy a property here in Chatham.
In 1966, Asquith Xavier applied for promotion as a guard at Euston. He was told black people weren't allowed to fill public roles in the station.
But after that he got, death threats, and people thought that he was seen as a bit of a troublemaker because obviously he wanted to make a stand. So yeah, he won his fight, but he had to endure quite a lot of abuse as well.
Undeterred, the father of 7 fought back. He not only won, but his case helped shape the Race Relations Act in 1968.
It was an important breakthrough in both legislation and society accepting that racial discrimination on the grounds of colour, but across a wider spectrum, was unacceptable. And it was a part of a movement towards the 76 Act, which made it more comprehensive.
The house behind me is where Asquith Xavier made his home in Chatham. He was forced to move the family out of London following a series of death threats. A few years later, he died from a stroke at the age of 59. Athena Xavier believes the stress and constant battles her grandfather dealt with was the reason he died relatively young in 1980.
He wasn't sick before this, before he went for the job. So, yeah, stress can bring on the stroke that he had.
4 years ago, a plaque in honour of Asquith Xavier was unveiled at Euston Station. His family was there to see it. There are calls for a similar tribute to be erected in Chatham. Since the death of George Floyd and other deaths in police custody, the fight for civil rights has taken to the streets once again. Few marchers would know the name of Asquith Xavier, but the fight and the struggles we see today are the same. Ian Palmer, BBC South East Today, Chatham.